Welcome to the Raj Smriti Show. This is our special series on International Women's Day, and today we have with us Seema Arya working for thalassemic patients. Welcome to the show, ma'am. To begin with, tell us about thalassemia because I'm sure not everyone is aware what thalassemia is.
Yes, absolutely. Thalassemia, I'll tell you a little about it, is a genetic disorder.
Okay.
Yeah, and in this, the children who get thalassemia major are dependent lifelong on blood transfusions.
Okay.
So it is not curable, but preventable.
Okay.
So it's only when two thalassemic carriers, those who have thalassemia in their genes, when they get married, then there are 25% chances of having a thalassemia major child.
Okay.
Yeah. So when this major child is born, then there is no cure for it. Then they have to have lifelong transfusions every 21 days.
And what
That's
is the survival
basically
rate?
food for them.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
like the way we eat food, they
Yes.
take blood in their
They have to take blood transfusions. And the only answer to it is bone marrow transplant, which is of course very difficult.
expensive and difficult.
Yes, traumatic, and of course needs a lot of finance, lots of
Other things, right.
that have to be.
So if we say that, you said that two thalassemic patients, when they get married, then the chances of getting is like 25% or so. So, but if there is one
Excuse
thalassemic,
me, I'll just correct you here. It's not thalassemic patients.
Okay.
It is like thalassemia carrier. Now you would not know
Whether I'm a carrier or
whether
not.
you're a carrier or not, because it's not written on your face. It's not written if I'm a diabetic or not. So the same way, it's not written on my face whether I'm a carrier or not. So you can only come to know through a blood test.
And does that blood test happen generally? Are we getting it done?
That we are doing now, since we are aware and we are working for the prevention. So now that's one of our agendas, to make the doctors aware of this test and do it compulsory during the pregnancies, early days of pregnancies.
Okay. So say if I'm a carrier of thalassemia and I'm not aware of it, and then it happens to my child or something, but that could also be a possibility that I'm a thalassemic carrier and I don't need blood transfusion, or every thalassemic patient has to have a blood transfusion.
I'll take a celebrity's name. So now if we see Amitabh Bachchan ji, he is a thalassemic carrier. But since Jaya ji is not a carrier, the trait has passed on to Shweta.
Okay.
But Abhishek is again not a carrier. Now when two carriers marry, then not necessarily that all of them have, all their offsprings will have a thalassemia major child. It's only 25% chance that when two carriers marry, only then they have a thalassemic major child. And once a major child is born, then that child needs blood transfusions lifelong.
So Amitabh Bachchan and Abhishek Bachchan, they don't have to go for blood transfusion regularly?
No, Amitabh and Shweta, they are carriers. Right. So carrier doesn't affect their life at all.
Okay.
Yeah. But once the child has it, then that child needs to be taken care.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not just transfusions. Then there are a lot of complications along with that. Firstly, you have to arrange for blood transfusions.
And blood has to be of the same blood group, or?
That mostly the blood banks arrange for.
Okay.
But what initially, so we started this society in 1999. When things were very, very different.
Okay.
The medical fraternity was also not very much aware of.
Right. So in 1990, when you started this organization, there was not much awareness, and I'm sure it was difficult making people aware of it to prevent the disease, plus the cure part as well.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, initially, even the doctors were not very much aware. They say that in their MBBS, it is just a paragraph.
Oh.
And basically here in SGPGI, the director then was Dr. S.S. Agarwal, and he was a lot interested in genetics. So he, along with Dr. Shubha Phadke, they were the only doctors who worked very hard and made this treatment available here in SGPGI. And so all the patients from all around UP used to come to PGI itself for the treatment. But then, initially we faced a lot of difficulties in the sense that there were spot donors, people coming from villages and towns. They had to get donors every 20 days. And then, if you have your friends and relatives, till how long can they donate?
Right.
So it was really very, very difficult for all of them to get donors then. So that is where the society stepped in, and we started doing blood donation camps at our level. And in exchange, the PGI used to give them blood. Yeah. So then they were at least relaxed of that. Then the next step we realized was the funds. Because once these children are getting blood transfusions, then that means a lot of iron is accumulated in their bodies. Yeah, which needed to be pumped out. Otherwise, it would go and get deposited on the vital organs like the liver, the kidney,
and it will start affecting
heart.
it.
Yes. And so initially we lost a lot of children because parents used to think that it's only the blood which is important. And later the doctors made them realize that it's the iron chelation, it's called, that along with blood transfusion, that goes hand in hand. Now another important thing I'll tell you was that in those years it was just injectables. So the children, the method of taking out the iron from the blood
was through injectables.
Was through injectables, which was put on pumps, and the medicine would go gradually for 12 hours. The injections would be there in their stomach. It was a subcutaneous injection, which was very expensive, traumatic for the parents, for the child. Yeah, because every day it's not possible for the parents to go out and get those injections done. So they had to manage it at home. But then after a few years, the oral medicines had come. Yeah, so that was a very big relief for the patients. Yeah.
So if we talk about the symptoms, like other than the blood test happening and you get to know that you're thalassemic, how do you know that your child is thalassemic?
So it's basically, when their HB goes down. So there's some kind of paleness. Then they have some kind of fever when the body cannot fight. So they have some kind of fever. Then you go to the doctor and then they get the test done.
And then you get to know.
Yes, that is how you come to know that the child is.
And the test has not been made mandatory right now for every child when the child is born to get a thalassemic test done?
That's what we are trying with the Times of India classify, then along with the Foxy doctors. We are trying our level best. We are trying to make awareness. We did many programs in the society, whatever we could, musical nights, then through celebrities also. We had our Miss World, Priyanka Chopra also. We took her to SGPGI, then Amisha Patel, Sunny Deol. We had the celebrities to talk it out. Yeah, and to sound out the word, because thalassemia is such a big word that no common man would know also about it. And then to make aware that there is something that can happen in your family as well. Because it's not just that it's restricted to any kind of community. It can happen to anybody. So that's what we used to work hard with the Times also. They said that we'll take it out with the matrimonials, that at that level if you take it, then maybe it can be prevented.
Very true. So that if you get married, you got to know whether your partner is thalassemic or not. So, and can you become a carrier at any given point of time, or it's like you are a genetical carrier?
It's a genetic
disorder. A genetic disorder.
So you have it either in your blood. Once the test is done, then you never need to get it done again.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just done for life. So people, places like Cyprus and all, they have eradicated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what they've made it compulsory with all the offices, with all the students, that you have to get this test done. Right. Yeah, it's in their scroll. So they just get it done, and once it's done, you know whether you're carrying it or not.
Right.
And even if one of the partners knows, then if you're getting married, then it's all right if the other person is not a carrier, one is a carrier, you can move ahead.
Right.
It's only with the children then they may be carriers again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, the way science has evolved and the way things have been moving, do you see a difference between patients, like the children? If in a family a boy child gets thalassemia or a girl child, do families differentiate in terms of treatment? If we talk about women issues or the girl child issues, if we talk about.
Yes, it is sad, of course. But yes, that is where our society has played a vital role. We've seen many cases where women were thrown out of their houses, were blamed that it's only because of you that we have this, there's something wrong in you. So we've had many cases where we sat down with the families, did their counseling, many things. But then of course it's, as initially I told you that it's half-half. When both are husband and wife, both
then
are carriers.
Then only you'll have a major child,
yes.
Right.
But then it was difficult for us to explain it to the families.
And the family is never ready to accept that this problem with the male, it's always the female.
Yes, it's always female. But yes, we are evolving.
I'm sure. So if we talk about women empowerment, what does women empowerment mean to you?
Just a world of what our saints have been doing. I mean, I've seen, we are following Swami Dayanand. He has done a lot for Arya Samaj. That is what they have done initially and now as well. From sitting down at the Havan, the women were not allowed.
Right, now we see women priests as well.
Yes. So, and now we have pilots, we have just in any careers, women are there. And I'm sure maybe today I'm here because of that. I'm trying to help many women, girls, of course.
True.
All the females who have any kind of
issues and problems.
Yes. We are giving strength to each other to stand up and, of course, deal with the complications of our society.
True.
Yes.
Very nice. It was lovely talking to you and knowing about thalassemia. I'm sure watching this, people will gain some knowledge and spread more awareness so that we don't have more thalassemic patients, and hopefully the test gets mandatorily done across India and we eradicate this disease completely.
Right.
Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.